From his studios in New York, it's time for Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports meets life. Here's your host, Dan Tortora.
Welcome here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora on wakeupcalldt.com, your one-stop sports shop, and on mixlr.com/wakeupcalldt. Hope everybody's having a great morning this morning, and we appreciate you being here with us. We've been off the last couple of days because of the holiday season, because of Christmas, so I hope you've been enjoying your Christmas holiday season and the holidays in general. We have as well here at Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. We've had a great time. Had a great Christmas Eve and a great Christmas, and I'm going to extend it as far as I possibly can. With that being said, we are here on the show this Wednesday, December 26th, and we got a lot of stuff to catch up on and get to. Monday Morning Quarterback with Marvin Graves coming up here in just a moment, and from there, on the prowl in the second hour of the show, on the prowl, Jacksonville Jaguars coverage. We'll talk about the Jags going into their final game of the season, as well as them getting that dub going into that last game of the season. And, of course, we'll have, as we always do on a Wednesday, Coach Q will be joining us from Syracuse women's basketball to speak with us about the team every Wednesday at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time, which includes this Wednesday. And we'll get to the annoying moment of the week will be this Friday. We'll get to the ingredients to success at the end of today's show, which is usually at the end of Tuesday's show. But with yesterday being Christmas, we were not on the air. So we'll get to all of that today. We'll have Monday Morning Quarterback here on a Wednesday with Marvin Graves, then on the prowl. Then we'll get to Coach Q, and we'll round out the show with the ingredients to success. So, without further ado, happy to have Marvin on the show. Marvin, how are we doing today?
Doing great, Dan. Happy holidays to you.
Happy holidays to you as well. And I got to ask you, Marvin, how did you spend Christmas? What did you do for the holiday?
Oh man, it was real simple. To me, it's about just family and, just being around family. We normally, have dinner at, my house or my mom's house. My mom and older sister live together now, so we just had a small dinner there. They had me on the grill, so just made some burgers and turkey burgers and hot dogs, and we kind of kept it simple, man, and just hung out, watched movies, and talked about old times. So, that's what Christmas is about to me. It's not about, the gifts and things like that. We do like to do that, but my family, we try to keep it, within our means and, what we can afford. And the bottom line is, we just enjoy being together.
And, you brought that up, living within your means and whatnot, that it's not supposed to be strictly just a holiday of what did you buy me, what did you get me. So, just what you could say about the bigger things, not just with Christmas, but in general, the bigger things in life and giving someone your time, which is more valuable, or, your energy, or just being there and being a part of their lives and how that goes such a longer way, so to speak, than, buying them an electronic and whatnot.
Absolutely. And, I think, I'm the type of person, if I was in a position, if I can give gifts to, a lot of people, that's what I would do. And, it's about the actual giving and, making sure that, you just, brighten somebody's day or, just make their life better, or maybe even just give them a different look on life because they got something from, a relative that they didn't expect, or it was a totally different stranger. So, I get it, the gift giving and whatever you can afford is cool. But I just think, it's more so the thought behind the gift, that you give it. It needs to be genuine to me.
And when you look, back on this holiday, what do you think was the most genuine gift that you gave, so to speak, be it a material or not? What's the most genuine thing that you feel like you're able to give?
Just love. To be totally honest with you, I didn't give any gifts. I didn't give out any gifts. My daughters didn't get any gifts yesterday. We actually do have some money to do some things for them because, I feel like they're doing well in school and, they're doing pretty much what we asked them to do. But, for me, and my wife wasn't real happy with it, but, it was just about being together and just realizing that you have everything you really need for the situation that you're in. I think too many people look at what they don't have or what someone else has, and it's nothing wrong with wanting things, but I think sometimes we don't recognize the blessings that we have right in front of us.
That coming from Marvin Graves, typically our Monday morning quarterback this week with the holiday season, Christmas Eve and Christmas, talking here on a Wednesday. Marvin, the gift that you've had, what are the things that you're thankful for? What are, some of the best gifts that you've been given, be it material, be it a mentorship, advice, or something like that? When you look at your life right now, here today, in this moment, if I said, what gift are you thankful for, you would tell me what?
Family. Just to be able to get together with, family, and if we're able to, give gifts, sometimes we'll, actually exchange gifts. So, and we sit around and just look at the gifts and see, how or what the person bought. And a lot of times, the gifts are not real simple, like they fit the person's personality. So, honestly, as I've gotten older, it's just more about being around family, whether it's, last year I think we just stayed in the house, and it was just our family. This year was a smaller gathering of family, and then we've had bigger events, before. So next year we're talking about actually doing a cruise. So, my wife and my niece, they were online looking at, like a little 3-day cruise or something like that. And we're going to attempt as a family to just start paying on it now. And if we can make it happen, we will. If we can't, then, but that's our goal for next year.
And,
family. I would just say family.
And, that's the, one of the things that has come up is that, some people have asked for different things like that, like, hey, instead of buying me gifts and stuff, I already have, more than enough. I already have a bunch of material things, so why not just, why not we all just go on a cruise and do something together? So the family trip thing is something that has been coming up, and there's obviously, something to say about that and some merit to that of, let's make a memory as opposed to you buying me a book or a camera or whatever.
Absolutely. And, we want to carry on the tradition of, the way my parents and just the way it was taught, just, being with family, grandma's going to be there, she's going to cook this, the tradition of it. But, as we evolve, we could take those same traditions and sometimes go on trips and, or, have an event catered, whatever the case may be. But the common denominator is family.
Yeah.
And in family, I'm sorry, and in family you have to include, friends and associates as well. So, that's what I mean by immediate family and, your friends and your associates. So,
speaking here with Marvin Graves, Marvin, tell me about your Syracuse family. Who are some of those teammates and, people that you would say are part of that extended family?
Everybody that I've come in contact with the day that I stepped on campus at Syracuse, from Ivan Fears, who brought me out of D.C. to Syracuse, Randy Etzel, the entire coaching staff, Coach McPherson, Coach Maxwell, Bob Casulo, the list goes on, and all the players in between, the students that were non-student athletes that, we were friends with, still connect with today. Like the SU bond is real. It's alive in D.C. It's alive all over the country. So, the bond is still there, from everyone. And even guys like yourself, I think we're building a relationship through the SU cricket or the SU bond. So, everyone, Al Wooten, my roommate was Al Wooten at the fullback. We were the only two that came in as roommates in that class that remained roommates throughout the whole time. And when Lawrence Moten, my buddy from, Washington, D.C. and teammate came up, we decided to get a 3-bedroom apartment. So, but we lived together the entire 5 years that we were there. So, Al and I still are in contact. Shelby Hill, I was texting with him last week. So, it's everyone, man.
And I agree with you, and I definitely, I see that too. Building that bond, and it's the beautiful thing about it is, obviously, I didn't go to SU, and I didn't play football at SU, but the way that people like yourself, speaking here with Marvin Graves, so many different people that have brought me into this brotherhood and this family that you don't have to play on the team to be a part of it, and I can't thank you guys enough for bringing me into the family, because of this bond of just speaking and just sharing thoughts, not just on football but on life and on the things that matter. So it's a dream of mine that I have. It's a dream of mine that I carry with me. It's the hard work and the determination and the hope, but then on the other side of it, it's people like yourself that appreciate that and open the door to that. And if there's not people like you, then I push and I push, but that door doesn't necessarily get open as easily. So I want to thank you for what you've done and for helping me to feel like part of the family.
Oh man, you're welcome. And I'm just moving how my spirit told me to move. And I think we've had a great season so far. I think I'm growing. Actually speaking on the radio and just talking SU football and staying connected, it makes me want to connect more. And as I have time to, maybe know more about the football team and, the stories of the coaches and, things of that nature, it's just a way of, just staying in the Syracuse community. And I'm just trying to do all that I can with the circumstances that I have to stay connected. And this, I thank you for, inviting me on and coming up with the idea, and I think it's been a great thing.
That coming here from Marvin Graves, our typical Monday morning quarterback that's hanging out here on a Wednesday live on Wake Up Call on mixlr.com/wakeupcalldt due to the shortened week due to the holiday season. And Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays to everybody as well. Marvin, the game is just a couple days away. I can't believe that I'm sitting here in my studio, and before I know it, I'll be sitting in Orlando and, around this team and whatnot. So what are you most excited about this week? What are you looking forward to? And, just kind of what your thoughts are in the grand scheme of things, because we have an opportunity here for Syracuse to do something pretty tremendous. We have Marvin here on the line with us, and Marvin, just speaking with you, we lost you here for a second, but speaking with you about just in a couple days, it's going to be the bowl game. It's West Virginia, it's Syracuse, it's Orlando, Florida. It's exciting. The stage is set. This is, I trust my sources in the industry, and this is what they said was going to happen, and here it is. So just what your thoughts are now that it's so tangible and it's so close.
Oh man, I just, it takes me back to the days when, I actually was preparing for a bowl game, and, just that whole time, after the last game of the season and you have to practice and wait, as a player to get this close to that time, it just takes me back to, that time where, it's like exciting, but, it's almost like you get a little nervous, the butterflies, and it's almost time to go to war, and it's just like all the preparation but the camaraderie with the guys. When you look back on it, just the plane trips, the bus rides, the dinners, the autograph signings, whatever the case may be, the interaction with your coaches, your players, things that happen at practice, and then you actually go out there and play the game. Like you said, the stage is set, and what a great way to finish the season. And to beat West Virginia, a team that we're very familiar with.
Yeah, and to see, this game that's coming up and just what there is with this, just what you could say about, like you said, for you, it's watching them get ready for this bowl game is in your mind, you're preparing yourself, and in your mind, you feel it kind of going through your veins. What is it like for you to, have experienced that, and now you see these guys, and like you were saying, you almost feel like it's happening to you. Just how amazing that is, and just to describe that to the fans of, hey, I'm not in this game, but, being an alum of this team, I'm in this game.
Well, the one thing that excites me is that it's like once you've been in a situation, whether it's football, when you've been in a team sport and you've experienced winning, there's certain things that you can just kind of see with the swag of the team, the coaches. There's just certain things that you can see, and oh yeah, like they have it. And I think we got a winning football team. I think we have a swag with our team, and that's what I see. So it's exciting to actually come out, now knowing how that feels. And then being from, the coaching side and stepping away from the game and actually have coached the game before, I'm excited to see how, we're going to attack them. I want to see, those weeks leading up to the game, what was your game plan? What was the offensive game plan? What's the defensive game plan? What are you going to try to take away? So, that's what excites me, is because, I'm looking at the whole thing from, a coaching's perspective, a player's perspective, a preparation perspective. And like I said, you got two great teams that it's going to be a great game, and I just can't wait.
That coming from Marvin Graves, Syracuse Orange quarterback in their history. And Marvin, to have this game coming up and to have it to be a rivalry and whatnot, just what you want to say about West Virginia, because West Virginia is tangible to you. It's tangible to Rob Drummond. It's tangible to Donovan McNabb. It's tangible to so many people in this history. And the head-to-head series has been something that's been very meaningful in the history of Syracuse football and in the history of West Virginia as well. West Virginia likes to talk. Jerome Smith, spoke with me about this. Syracuse wins overall in the all-time record. Syracuse had 33 wins to 28 of West Virginia, and Syracuse has won the last 3 straights. Just bring me into this rivalry and why West Virginia is a rival, and if they were talking smack back then like they're talking it now.
Oh, man. Like, when you look back on it, like, those are the type of football games that, you really find out who you are as a team. You find out about the other team. That's what rivalries are about. And, that junior year, my junior year, and I'm sure a lot of the SU fans and yourself is familiar with it, the brawl down there, and we drive down after that, and Chris Gedney, rest his soul, made a great catch we actually won. The defense closed it out with an interception by Tony Jones. But the brawl, that's what it's about. And that's not anything that was ever planned by myself or anyone on our team, but that stemmed from the whole game. Them playing at home, us running the option into the boundary. These guys are taking shots, getting in my face, and, the refs not calling it. And that one particular play set off a riot that I'm not proud about, but you just saw how our sideline responded, and you see those guys coming running across the field. You just had two teams that wanted to win, and that's what it comes down to. The rivalry is about winning, and they give it their all, and we give it our all, and that's what makes it great.
So that rivalry is coming up here at the just a couple days here. It's going to be on Friday, December 28th, 5:15 p.m. Eastern Time in Orlando, Florida. Marvin, you and I have spoken about this game the last couple of weeks. If you're standing in the locker room, you're looking at these guys, what do you say to Eric Dungey?
I would say to Eric Dungey, from a coaching's perspective, I think the first thing that I would tell him is ball security. That would be the first thing that I would say. if we can't score it, let's punt it away, unless we have to make a play. So number one would be ball security. Number two would be just focus on the situation, down and distance, situational football. And from there, if we could just take one play at a time, just play one play at a time, play the down and distance, and just be yourself. And that's all I would say to him.
That coming from Marvin Graves as we get set here for this Syracuse bowl game. What does it mean to you, Marvin, as an alum of the team, that they're back down in Florida? I mean, what type of weight does that carry? They win 9 games. There's bowls all over the country. There's, it's the only sport that I know of from the things that I've broken down that collegiately or professionally, more than 50% of the teams in action make the postseason. So what does Florida mean? To a Syracuse player, does Florida, because it's not a New Year's Six bowl, it's not the college football playoff, but when you get told you're going south, you're going down to Florida, Louisiana, or Georgia, or something like that, does that carry a special weight to a Syracuse player, in your opinion? Does that hold some type of special weight of, hey, you guys got this far, congratulations?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And, look at the time of year. I mean, it's cold in Syracuse. So you have kids, from around the country. You have kids that have never experienced the winter like you experience in upstate New York. It's almost like a stepping stone or kind of a little toss of this is what it could be like. Where did we play last year? So my thing is to be able to go to Florida, to be able to play against a quality football team. I think these guys got to look at it as a step in the right direction, and to have that goal to shoot for, to play in the game the following week. So it's a great opportunity, and I hope that they recognize that.
That coming from Marvin Graves. Marvin, final words on the bowl game, final thoughts on, Syracuse sold out their allotment of tickets to the fans. The tickets that they had, that they were given, that the bowl wanted them to sell, are gone. Just overall final thoughts on the game and on the fact that the fans were asked to show up. Dino asked them to come, and they obliged Dino Babers and the entire Syracuse team, and they bought those tickets.
I mean, to be honest with you, that's what I expect from SU. So that doesn't surprise me that, that's what I meant earlier when you see certain things, like, you have a winner. So they showed up, when I was there, the bowl games that I watched film on before I got there with Todd Philcox and Don McPherson and those guys. Michael Owens, the Hall of Fame Bowl, the Sugar Bowl, I believe it was. SU fans showed up. So they showed up for us, and Syracuse has it right now. And that's why those tickets are gone. But for the most part, that's what our fans do. So I'm really not surprised by it.
That coming from Syracuse Orange quarterback alum Marvin Graves. Marvin, as always, I appreciate you. I appreciate your time. I appreciate everything that you're doing. A Merry Christmas and a Happy Holidays to you. And hopefully you and I can get some FaceTime sometime soon. And in the meantime, I always appreciate having you on the phone and picking your brain about the world of sports and more importantly, the world of life. So thank you for your kind words and your positivity and everything that you have brought to the show. And thank you for being you. And I hope that you get to spend some more quality time with the family and do the things that matter. And then I look forward to being back on the air with you very soon.
You're welcome, Dan, and, I appreciate you. I think the feelings are mutual, and, let's get this W.
All right. That coming from Marvin Graves. You heard it, Cuse. Get that dub and do it against a team that always likes to remind you that they're better, even though historically they're not. We'll take a step aside here on the show. Marvin, thank you as always.
Take care.